everyone, and welcome to Mental Health Insights on Enlightened Communic. The objective of our channel has been to promote mental health as well as build communication, organizational, and self development skills. With that objective in mind, we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Jude Rodrigues, who's been working in the area of mental health and using music as a form of therapy to promote mental health. So welcome, Mr. Jude, to our channel, and thank you for joining us in this conversation.
Thank you.
So for our viewers, before we even get into this conversation, I would like to share a small clip with all of them.
Is music therapy more to do with the instrument part of it. In the instrument sector, we have keyboards. That is the key scenario, where we teach them how to play a Twinkle Little Star, or we teach them how to use their 10 fingers, which helps with the left and right brain. Now, left and right brain, because the right brain is more creative, the left is more logical, and vice versa. After doing my counseling, I felt that this is a very niche way of working with these students, and I didn't have the, so to say, experience to work with these students. So I joined these mental health seminars. I've got around 28 certificates on in terms of right from music therapy, which was done by Dr. Kathleen from Berkeley Music. Then I've attended integral somatic psychology. Then there is a lot of early childhood intervention for autism. So I had to study a lot. I had to do a lot of research. TEDx helped me a lot to understand how is the process of music actually interacting with the brain. And just in one word, it's more to do with the neuroscience, which speaks of the neuro, that is your brain networking. Every brain has got around concise about billions of neurons. What does the neurons actually do? They want to connect with each other. And music is nothing but which helps us firework in the brain, which helps to process the chemical like dopamine and the other chemicals that are there in the brain, and it gives you a more pleasure-centric possibility. Whereas you don't need to have a probably do some indulge yourself with other activities, but this is what is a therapeutic part of it. So with students, what we do is we work with for first on the assessment part of it. Whether if the child is very hyperactive, or if he's a learning disabled child, he would be probably well more taken forward for singing or something to do on his personality. And when you're looking at the instrument, he would go more into the percussion way. So maybe he could do well so we have djembes at our center, which works very well on the therapeutic side, and doctors recommend it. There is a lot of corporate work that is happening through djembe circles. Because it's more of left and right hand playing. It's more like a tabla, but this is more to do with a different set of rhythm that it gives you, more of a Latin and an African tone. Then for the mental retarded or the intellectual disabled students, we work with djembe, and we work with something called as Octopad. We have fed in around 100 rhythms. So we do rhythms right from beats like Fana, which has got tabla and it has got santoor in it. Right from there to we do Bahav Ke Darmiyan, these kind of songs which adapts to with soulful melodies that are there in that. Right from your Payal is there is Tambourine is there, so that's how it moves on. And then when you're looking at certain students or in the parents, we do more of counseling, because to understand what is a child's identification, whether he likes a hero like a Salman Khan or an Amir Khan. From there, that is where we start our therapy into understanding his favorite hero, because obviously if he knows his favorite hero, he will know his favorite song too. And that's how that is our intervention process or the assessment process that we do. Collectively, we get to know from the parent what is his background, what is his listening skill. So we have some autism students who are there with us for a long time. They're like 6 years, 7 years. There is one student whom we have which it was very difficult if for we were treating him for almost a year, and finally now we settled with songs like Jile Zara and Tik Tik Vaste. So these are kind of and he's moving in a very good direction using both hands of playing. That's the piano technique. Unfortunately, people do not know about it, but that's how it works. Um, and then there are some students who like to sing, so we give them a flexibility way of listening to tracks, but we have to form a pattern. So in the intervention process or the assessment process is something to do with acknowledging the fact that they understand music, but they are quite ignorant as to what makes them do the music part of it, the element or the pattern that we have to create it in their brain. So it's like I can't draw them and write it for them. I have to develop it through the musical instruments.
So, Mr. Jude, we just saw the clip and the fantastic work that you've been doing. So, I wanted to ask you, how did you think about music as a form of therapy, and how did you get into this field?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, actually. 15 years, I used to work in a mainstream school. Basically, my role was more of talent orientation, get children on stage and develop their talents, whether it's singing, whether it's drama, whether it's acting, whether it's just basic playing instrument, or rather just roles of different special day programs that we were into. After doing that with mainstream schools like Hiranandani and Lodha and Potar, 8 years back, I met a psychologist accidentally, and she said I used to see that the kids who are a little not so good in studies, and as well as they get bored very easily. They would do really very well in something called as remedial therapy. Now that was how I'm always a curious person, so I used to sit and speak to her during her lunch breaks and during her sessions, and the observations that I used to watch, I just fell into it, because one of the reasons was I was always interested in behavior, in understanding what is behavior, what is a human behavior. I knew about 6 instruments that time, and like the guitar and the piano, keyboards. But after a period of time, when I started working with these students, I realized that the doctors probed me to learn drums, to learn djembe, and a lot of percussion instruments, and that's how my journey started. And today I am also blessed with a saxophone. I'm learning saxophone for my own personality, to work on my personality, so I can relate that to the students and to the society. I'm a Trinity College certified trainer and a coach, and also I did my degree in counseling, where I still go for lectures on how is music going to help autism, how is music going to help neurological disorders. It didn't stop there. I did over 30 certifications on mental health, which basically helped me to promote my instincts, giving me confidence to speak to people like Ume, who's a clinical psychologist right now. And it has blessed me. It has helped my ego to actually go down and to give more. That's what my line was. And even in the lockdown period, I've been able to attend 25 webinars of mental health and aquatic therapy, also hearing impaired, the blind students, what are they? Because we have had extremely all these students, over 200 students that we have had in our period, in our journey. And the innovation and creativity is what keeps me alive. Thank you.
Excellent. So you've been doing some fantastic self-development work and reading a lot during this quarantine period. That you just bought about quarantine, which is a very challenging time for most parents.
Very true. Yes.
Right. And just our last conversation that we both were having, and you were just sharing with me that you've been taking sessions, even online sessions during this quarantine period.
True.
So I want to ask you, like, what are the parents, like, who call you and talk to you? What are the challenges these parents are actually facing? And what do they tell you? And how are you dealing with this? And how are you taking your sessions, still taking your sessions?
There is a lot of confusion on the music intervention, because, see, if you look at it, music is actually a therapy. It's a therapeutic relationship that a therapist and the client or the patient has, or even for example, a normal or a differently abled person would have. It says that there are around 10,000 hours for an instrument that you practice and you be well versed with. Now I could give you an example of a DJ. For a party or for a celebration, a DJ plays sequential music, but he knows his theme. There is a theme that is there by which he works on that. And so I would say that music is not a time pass. Yeah, we have this thing in our heads, that music is not a time pass. It's as I said, it's a therapeutic relationship. We also use music in the fMRI, in the when these practically when there is a brain disorder, or where there is an interface to be challenged. There are a lot of fMRIs that are done in order to check whether the brain stimulation, and it's all to do actually with the brain. And what better than to do music, because it helps on the emotion. It helps to exhibit fear, to have love, songs that are there. Sometimes there are songs that are sadistic. There are movies that are made on different state of mind on music. But what the concern is actually is the cultural barrier that we face. See, we are all in different languages. We are in different countries. Ume is in Germany. She's in Switzerland, and there are a lot of Germans. To relate, it gets very. It's not so easy. I would not say difficult. It's not so easy. Also, I've been told that an auditory organ is the first to develop. When a child is born in the mother's womb, and it's the last to disintegrate, which means when the child is born. So I've had a lot of thousands of students and parents that I've met over a period of time. The concern still remains the thing, why is my child not so good at music, and when they will be practically good, into playing an instrument, and everyone wants them to be A.R. Rahman, or Shreya Ghoshal, or some kind of personality. But we need to relate. So in India, we have South India, we have North India, we have West Bengal, where there is Bengali speaking people. We have Oria, people from Orissa. From North, people are quite excited about this whole thing of Bhangra and those kind of heavy empowers. Now we have had students in the autism spectrum. We have seen that they like keyboards. They like a lot of soft playing music, very melodic music. And when I'm saying keyboard, I'm talking of practically two hands. It's not just one hand that you play. Yeah, it's two hand playing, because both the left and right brain are quite communicative in that, and it gives you a good sense of space into your mind as well. The intellectual disabled children, we have noticed that they do drums very well. There is also some doctors, as I mentioned, they probed me to learn djembe, and it took me 5 years to process this whole action of how rhythm actually affects these neurological issues, and it was excellent. Even cerebral palsy, the brain disorders, there's a word called as encephalopathy, where there is an impairment of, they have impairment of issues of sight, impairment of deafness, they can't hear properly. So there are all these different music functions that are created in the brain, and it helps to strengthen and reflect in compassion. Compassion is a very strong word.
Of course, yeah. So you've been working and you shared a lot of benefits for children with disabilities or any intellectual deficit, and how it has been helpful. And you've been working with varied kind of children and with varied instruments. But what about the normal kids? How do you think it benefits even normal children? How music benefits normal children. And do you
normal children
taking classes for normal kids?
Yeah, so in a country in Japan, and there are South Asian countries like Korea and China, even Germany, I think even the US, in Canada, these places, these countries where music is given priority. They understand that it's the sense of helping for the brain stimulation. It calms your nerves down. It helps you to reproduce. It helps you to be a better human. Now, when I say a better human, it's basically building of relationships.
Yeah.
building of personality, giving you an expression where you don't need to convince yourself. It's a self conviction that you are convinced that like in Japan, the first concert that a child plays, it's at a 5-year-old, and she plays the difficult instrument called as violin,
Okay.
to a crowd. I'm not talking of 50 and 100 like in a classroom setup. It's an actual concert where around thousands of people are available, so
I
it's
think
the
that is
impact.
compulsory. Is it compulsory that they
Yes,
have to do?
it is compulsory.
Or
Yes.
generally they do that, right?
No. It is compulsory. They have something called as a concerto. There is a
Okay.
performance thing that exuberant. It's an exuberant taste of music.
Okay.
And see, also every country has got their own scales. Japan has got music scales. Russian has got music scales. In Saudi Arabia, they have these Oriental scales. Okay. In China, they have their Chinese. Like in India, we have a lot of rags,
Yes,
rags, and
yes.
these kind of things. So that's how it is.
Oh, wow. So that's quite fascinating as to what you are sharing with us.
Yes.
And you just shared, it's very beneficial even for normal kids. And
Yes,
you have
yes,
any message
absolutely.
for parents, during quarantine, as to why they should introduce their children to music.
Absolutely. So in the lockdown, it's even more, it's on the it's a process which is about almost 50 days that I am locked down in my house.
Yes.
Yeah,
Almost all of us, yeah.
yeah.
Everywhere.
So initially I would like to share this story. It really fascinates me
Yes.
on the passion that I create, just as Ume was just sharing, looking at it on how exactly this COVID-19 has created an impact in my life, because I say that it's first with me, then I bless others.
Of course.
It's a beautiful passion that I just looking at. So it takes time to plan a session. It takes almost 3 hours to 5 years to plan an online session. The student could play an instrument, he could sing. Today morning we had some good fun. The child just went, one of the students who's a 10-year-old, he brought his instrument and he played some classical music, and he played also this song All Things Bright and Beautiful, which we learned as a child. We also use a lot of these puppets. There's a froggy puppet.
Wow.
There is I love you. If you can get this, I love you.
Yes.
There is for colors we use ducks, animals.
Oh yeah.
Dogs.
So we're using a lot of props
See this
to
doggy.
engage
Yes.
kids.
Yes. It's all innovation. These are the things which we grew up. So I don't want to cut that. See,
innovation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We also use a shaker.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. There is this thing called a recorder. We use these, these instruments. We give them a little.
Share with our viewers that, of course, to deal even with normal kids, and to keep them engaged on a laptop is very difficult. And what you're doing is you've been dealing with children with disabilities or children who have intellectual disabilities or problems. You've been able to engage them online, and that's fantastic.
Absolutely. See, we need not forget, but when we travel, when we are human beings. Now human beings, irrespective to whether normal, abnormal, or just any kind of, whether you're a corporate, whether you're a vice president or a director, we are still humans first. I learned this value in these 8-9 years of my service with these people, and I learned that my ego has to come down if I want to exuberate their talent, if I want to give the best to them, and they see you through and through. Human relationships on blessing, giving them. We have developed a pattern, so we use animals, shapes, colors, as I showed it to you, numbers, exercise. On Saturday we're going to do a session extremely songs on and activities and movements on exercise.
Oh wow,
beautiful. We have a cerebral palsy child who is partially blind and partially deaf, and we had this exercise, of frog on a log, or a bee sipping a tea, and today we did shapes. So her dad and her mom actually engages with all these activities. Can you believe that?
Comes together, right?
Yes, together. and it's a beautiful thing, to just get their moods levels up. It's very difficult, in this time where
to create
there's
family
more of negativity.
bonding, as well as, of course, you've been able to engage them with a variety of
Yes,
ways, colors, shapes, language, drama,
absolutely,
music, and everything. Okay,
yes,
that's brilliant. Brilliant usage of engagement that you've been into. So my
also
last
time.
and
Their
also,
time is engaged. Time.
Time is engaged. Yes, and
Yes. And they're learning. Ume, I would like to also say they're they're using this time when I do my session. I see to it that they're academically inclined. They're learning something, through songs and through movements and through activities. Yeah.
And in any session that we take, it's always, what is the benefit to the child? And I'm sure a lot of parents also think, what is the benefit to my child? Yes, maybe it maybe calms their mind, or it helps them to be cognitively more active. That is one kind of benefit. But also there is a learning that is taking place, and that's very important, because as a parent, or even as a parent, or as a guide, you always want to know what is it that my child is going to get out of it. And is it actually beneficial? So one thing is, of course, time engagement is important, but also what you're going to get out of it. So I was just telling you, and this will be my last question to you. So you've been working in this area of music, and I'm sure there are a lot of musicians who may want to help kids, and a lot of psychologists who may be viewing this may be interested in music. What would you tell them? What would you tell them as to how they can, get into this field, or what tips would you give them?
True. Yeah, very good question. I really appreciate this thing, because there is absolutely no awareness. When I started off my career into this line, I only knew a certain occupation therapist, certain speech therapist, psychiatrist. I went to a level of a neurosurgeon, by which I had a brain disorder function of the spatial and the left brain issue. I also worked with a patient who had an accident in his 4th year of his automobile engineering, and he was a brilliant student, but due to his left side not functioning, he could only speak Gujarati. He would only speak Gujarati. And so I had to relate in English to his sister. His sister would relate to him in Gujarati. That's how I used to conduct the sessions. Now, coming back to awareness, there is not much awareness in music and movement therapy. And sadly to say, in India, I am in touch with few scientists also with NIMHANS. That's the National Institute for Mental Health in Bangalore. And they're doing a lot of research in the diabetes too, and in the schizophrenia field. There's a lot of clinical research that is going on. Yes. So one thing is
diabetes, is it?
Sorry?
You mean using music for diabetes and
yes. So they have found out,
okay.
So the detailing is, they have found out hexatonic scales, which are a tonic, one of the hexatonic scales. They help cure diseases, and the heptatonic scales, that are the 7th notes. There are some scales and rags which they have introduced and which they are working. It helps to create the charming and the elegancy, to be more specific in communication. So that's what they have found out, and they're using this in their therapy. See, a place like Poland, a country like Poland, they have actually for the stroke patients, the heart stroke patients, it would be the direct 1 or the 2nd or the 3rd grade patients. They use their first half of the day they use music therapy. They have to go for listening to sounds, vibrations. Sounds and vibrations are 2 different subjects, but they just blend in. There are in senior citizens in places, in countries like Australia, and I believe also in Canada, even in Germany, they have a lot of senior citizen dance movements, where they have tango, they have waltz, they have ballroom dances with partners. Old people, senior citizen, old is would not be a proper word, but these personalities, they get together. I just seen a video of a couple in Turkey doing a tango. Awesome, mind blowing.
On
three
movement.
3 minutes. Yeah, the 3 minutes dance was awesome.
Okay.
So it helps to actually decrease your selfishness as a musician. When I
Mhm.
started off, I used to play in bands and recordings and a lot of things. I've seen there's a lot of selfishness that our musicians create, and it's all to do mere liye kya hai, like all, or rather, what is it for me? Even in commercial, what is it for me? How much I'm going to get paid? It's all to do with, yes, I'm not saying commercial is not important, it is, but it's more of the self-righteousness that develops. And if you're coming into therapy, as I said, this is the third or the fourth time I'm saying, you have to diminish your ego levels.
Yeah, there has to be some
You
compassion
have to
in
be,
whatever you do. Yes, yeah, of course.
yeah. I love the Salman Khan ad of being human. He's coined that human being is being human. It's a beautiful coin, which it's like a message which I'm giving. But coming into the therapy, because see, in the history, 1,000 years, kings used to use music. They used to have that tansen and all these stories that you hear in comic books and these old books, where music was practically as a kind of a way to build emotions, to keep your minds down. Even in our Bible, we have King David. He started his journey playing harp for King Saul, because King Saul used to have tormentations of all these evil spirits, and he would play his harp. That's how he entered into the kingdom. And it is historically, it's historically in the Bible, and it calms him down when he sleeps. So it's beautiful. Yeah, so that's, and it's just the passion that you develop,
There's a
even
rich
when he would
history,
go.
rich
Sorry?
history regarding music and movement that has
Yes.
already there. It's just that now we've turned it in the form of a therapy and we're using it.
Yes.
And we're calling
Yes.
it in concrete and giving it a concrete name to it. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Also, in that in the psychoanalysis, whether it's Eric or whether it's Freud, they always talk developmental. So developmental stages. So we have 18 years of our life when we are born till the 18 years, from the womb to growing up. Even if the umbilical cord is broken or it's cut off, we still develop our brain, because we get that gift every day which we don't use much. Like I have learned over 12 to 13 instruments is because of that passion of just building on. Yeah, it's passion. Yeah. So self-right. We did a song of Joda Akbar for the special kids last year. Joda Akbar, and we had around not less than 19 of those students.
Wow.
Autism. We also had a blind student who played the drums. Yeah, we got him involved. We had Saloni who sang that. She sings amazing well. So now she's learning the keyboard. She plays the keyboard with singing. Okay. Beautiful. We have Vivek with us, who's playing for 8 years now. He's now into Western classical. Yeah. So there are a lot of areas which you can look at as a career. And what best, there are a lot of news, like when the operation is done of the brain, suddenly you see the doctor who's a neurosurgeon playing a guitar, and this guy is getting operated. Yes. There are a lot of news. If you type in on TEDx and all, I've done a lot of.
So you are reading a lot because you're so interested in music and so passionate about it. You're so passionate about helping people. And that's what I've learned, throughout years of knowing you, that you've been very passionate about helping people and using your talent to help them. So that's very fascinating.
It resonates memory. I'd like to share this small thing that happened on a Sunday. It was Mother's Day. We should not forget our mothers. And you get all these texts, you get all these videos. But what happened was, my wife likes this song called "To Be With You." And so this song. So my elder one, she's been helping me for a sessions all the time, and never ever she's got bored about it. She's still in her 11th. She's promoted to the 12th. But she never told me, Daddy, I'm bored about, like till these age group, like 16, 17, they get very bored. But I didn't see that instinct in her. She was always innovative. She would come with ideas. See, that's what helping in the brain setup. The neurons are connecting with each other, and it's
of course, it becomes the passion, and they start enjoying, and there is compassion, and helping others also.
Yes. So whatever session tunes we are doing, it's sung in the house also. And we don't do very baby stuff. This is not like Baby Shark, and these kind of. We do songs which empower, which which gives a taste to learning, And see, one thing is songs, you will never remember the third chapter of your history book in your 5th standard or 8th standard or 10th standard. Yeah? You'll never remember that.
Yes.
Because it's more of the left brain that is used, and you have to study, you know.
Yes.
But you will always remember songs which are sung right from when you were a child.
Poetry, songs,
jingles. Sorry,
I'm saying poetry, songs, jingles.
Poetries, yes. So you got to bring that into life. It's like that movie, the movie of Ben Stiller. You know, he brings animals live in the museum, night at the museum, how those animals come out alive. So it's something you got to exaggerate the talent.
Yes. So wonderful conversation, Mr. Jude Rodrigues. Thank you so much for sharing and giving us so much information, insight, and it's been very interesting and having an energetic talk with you. So thank you so much. And to all our viewers, you know, even if you want to contact Mr. Jude, you know, his number is given in the video. You can surely contact him. Thank you so much for joining in and tuning in.
Thank you.
And having
Thank you so much, Ume, for your time and interest and to develop such an eagerness and awareness. You know, we're looking forward to develop this more in the research and development. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
And to all the audience who will watch this.
Surely, yeah. Thank you. If you like our videos, do like, share and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon next to the subscribe button.